Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Prajajana Randana Yasodhanandana Prajajana Randana Yasodhanandana Prajajana Randana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Shirada Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtota Sarisha A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Shri Nitaya Sachi Sutta Ki Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Shri Radha Paris Ishwara Ki Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai Shri Brihat Madanga Ki Shri Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Marathon Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Shri Guntaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I assume we're on text 15. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Bhakti Sarprabhu, you gave 14 yesterday. So kindly repeat. Samudra Pita Kosheya Vasasi Samupaharat Varunak Shrajang Vaijayanting Madhuna Matta Satpadam Samudra Pita Kosheya Vasasi Samupaharat Varanakshvajam Vaijayantim Madhuna Matasatpadam Samudra Pita Kosheya Vasasi Samupaharat Varanakshvajam Vaijayantim Madhuna Matasatpadam Samudra Pita Kosheya Vasasi Samupaharat Varunasrajang Vaijayanting Madhuna Matasatpadam Samudra Pita Kosheya Vasasi Samupaharat Varunasrajam Vajayanting Madhuna Matasatpadam. Ladies.
Samudra Pita Kosheya
Samudra Pita Kosheya
Vasasi Samupaharat
Vasasi Samupaharat
Varunakshvajam Vajayantim
Varunasrajam Vajayantim Madhuna Matasatpadam. Samudra, the ocean. Pita Kosheya, yellow silk. Vasasi, both the upper and lower portions of a garment. Samupaharat, presented. Varunaha, the predominating deity of the water. Srajam, garland. Vaijayantim, the most decorated and the biggest. Madhuna, with honey. Mata, drunken. Satpadam, bumblebees, which have 6 legs. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The ocean, which is the source of all valuable jewels, supplied the upper and lower portions of a yellow silken garment. The predominating deity of the water, Varuna, presented flower garlands surrounded by 6-legged bumblebees, drunken with honey. Purport. When bathing the deity in the Abhishek ceremony with various liquids such as milk, honey, yogurt, ghee, cow dung, and cow urine. You bathe the deity with these items, Pujaris? You bathe the deity in cow urine and cow dung? You do, huh? Yes. Every day?
Bishop, on festivals, Bishop.
Just on festivals, huh? You use cow dung and cow urine also, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. It is customary to supply yellow garments. In this way, the Abhishek ceremony for the goddess of fortune was performed according to the regular Vedic principles. I'm going to go on to the next verses, or verse, whatever. Verses. Text number 16. Bhushanani vichitrani vishvakarma prajapati haram sarasvati padman ajo nagash chakandale. Vishvakarma, one of the Prajapatis, supplied varieties of decorated ornaments. Vishvakarma is also like the engineer architect. Where's our Leela Manjari? She here? There she is. Vishvakarma is the architect of the demigods. Huh? He designs all the beautiful arrangements, buildings, cities, and so on. Town planner come architect. The goddess of learning, Saraswati, supplied a necklace. Lord Brahma supplied a lotus flower. Thank you. And the inhabitants of Nagaloka supplied earrings. This is all for the goddess of fortune. Is that right? Tatakrita svasthya notpala shrajang nadad vire hang parigriya panina chachala vaktrang sukhapola kundalang svavidhahasam dadati shashobanam. Thereafter, Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, having been properly celebrated with an auspicious ritualistic ceremony, began moving about, holding in her hand a garland of lotus flowers, which were surrounded by humming bumblebees. Similarly, smiling with shyness, her cheeks decorated by her earrings, she looked extremely beautiful. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The goddess of fortune, Mother Lakshmi, accepted the ocean of milk as her father, but she perpetually rests on the bosom of Narayan. We often hear that milk is liquid religiosity, huh? And in one sense, religiosity is like our father, giving us guidance, protection, shelter, etc., and correcting and regulating us, isn't it? Supposed to be. Whether people follow it is another thing altogether. But human society without religion is not really human society at all. It starts with religious principles. Otherwise, it's a polished form, Prabhupada says, of animal life. Huh? You may have a Duipadupashu, they say, huh? Two-legged animals. Human beings are nothing but Duipadupashu, two-legged animals. Even though they have this opportunity of a human birth, they waste it. And most of them don't even, let's say, I don't say most, but many don't even identify with their religion at all, and those who do generally don't follow it. Sometimes they corrupt it, whatever it may be. But it's rare to find genuine religious principles in Kali Yuga. Very rare. Some cheating forms are there. So the real religious principle of Kali Yuga is the Sankirtan movement. This is the only, possible hope for people in general, is to embrace the chanting of the Lord's holy name, no matter what name they have understood from their whatever religious teachings, etc. But the name of God should be chanted. This is the only genuine religious process which will succeed in Kali Yuga. So Mother Lakshmi was being properly celebrated. Auspicious ritualistic ceremony. Ritual, this word ritual is also a very interesting word. Sometimes people say these are just rituals. Usually when they say they're just rituals, it doesn't mean it. It's not a credit. It's not like a very praiseworthy statement, is it? This is just a ritual, just a mechanical activity with no real feeling, no real, spiritual emotion. It's just some rules and regulations, missing the point. What they say, you follow the word of the law, is it, and not the spirit of the law. You stick to the book like a machine, missing the whole purpose of what the book's for, to awaken the spirit, awaken the person's spiritual understanding. So it's an interesting word, this ritual. When you add SP at the front, what do you get? Spiritual. Isn't it? The same word is there, spiritual. It's SP, ritual. I always think SP stands for Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise it's simply a ritual. Spiritual. So it becomes spiritual when we take literally, whoever we're referring to, if they're a bona fide spiritual master, representative of the Lord, then by following even the rituals, what we seem to be rituals, they become spiritual. Everything becomes spiritualized. But if we do it our own way, it becomes a ritual. It's just simply a concoction or a material for show, for name and fame, or whatever it may be. We always have to put the pure devotee in the center. Because they're putting Krishna in the center, and thus if we put them in the center, we're also putting Krishna in the center of our lives. And then it becomes spiritual. Even though we may not be realized, in one sense, ihayasya haredasya kamanamasa manasam giram, the one is still considered in a liberated state if one is engaged under the shelter of a liberated soul in devotional service. What this Sankirtan movement's about, really, and we wouldn't be doing what we're doing now if it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada, would we? Would you be doing it, Harini? No way. Would you be wrapping up Arabic books with pieces of, what's this stuff called? Tape or whatever?
Ribbon.
Huh?
Ribbon.
Ribbon, yeah. Yeah. Probably not. You wouldn't be sitting here, that's for sure. God knows where we'd be. We have no idea where we'd be. It's unimaginable. I can imagine, but you can't conclude. Some of us may have left our bodies for various reasons. And with no knowledge of the soul, no purpose of life, no understanding. So many people are going through rituals of various kinds. We see in India particularly, in the West, everywhere. Every religion has their rituals. Nothing really changes. Wars are fought over rituals. Your rituals are wrong, our rituals are right. They're all wrong unless they actually understand the essence or the spirit behind it all. It's children fighting over something which is insignificant. And that's the unfortunate situation of the world, and people get so attached to it. It's just like Ekanath Prabhu was saying 2 days ago, I think, when I sent him on a mission to distribute some food, not prasadam, but food to some beggars to try to get their, maybe a little bit more of their favorable mindset. It didn't work, but anyway, we tried. What they tell you? We want your money. We don't want your this stuff. We want your money. You're taking all the money off of us. This is our spot. People are so in illusion. And they're performing, you could say, austerities. I mean, they're living on the street. So many people live on the street in Paris, even in the winter, in some kind of tent. I doubt whether they ever take a bath. Probably never, huh? They even change their clothes, for some of them. They never change their clothes. Very mode of ignorance lifestyle. They cannot appreciate this. And they'll chase you away. People under the modes of material nature. And many people come there and they shave their hair when they offer it. They give it their hair. Shave. Ladies also shave their hair off. It's a kind of an austerity. It's also an offering to the Lord. Giving up that which we're attached to. We're not recommending you ladies do this, please. That's not Prabhupada's principal process. We have another business. You can say we're not going to comparative thing, but the recommended process in this age is Sankirtan. So we give up other things for the performance of Sankirtan. You could be enjoying yourself on the beach in, I don't know, this time of the year. Maybe in Europe there's not so many. Maybe in Greece or something it's still warm. I don't have a clue. But somewhere or another, people want to go and enjoy themselves on the beach, isn't it? On the shore of the ocean. As it says here, the ocean is the source of all valuable jewels. It's something special about the ocean, although, it's dangerous at the same time. But yes, people love to, especially children, they love to go to the shore, don't they? They love to go to the beach. They dream of it, right? A beautiful sandy beach, blue warm water and blue skies and nice scenery and umbrellas and everything's there, ice cream stands and this and that, and everyone's getting tanned in the sun. It's what do you think, Gauranga? I bet you the sun doesn't do you good though, does it? I've seen that some people, they go red as a beetroot when they're in the sun, burning. Can't handle even 10 minutes sometimes, especially in New Zealand. New Zealand is so penetrating sun. It's the only time in my life, I've walked in the sun for 10 hours in a row in the tropics sometimes. I never get sunburned, never. Only place I ever got sunburned was Wellington. And Wellington is like the last place on earth you'd expect. So we were out in the sun for about 4 hours or something at some festival there. No shade. And I had like bubbles on my head and things. And but the funny thing was, I looked at the Indian devotees, they all had bubbles on their heads too. All the Indian devotees were sunburnt. I've never seen that before. It's so penetrating, it just pierces your skin in New Zealand. So if you want to get sunburn, New Zealand's a good place. I saw Sevananda, even though the sun wasn't shining, he was as red as a beetroot. This just through the clouds, what's it, ultraviolet rays, they penetrate so strong. So strong, you got to be very careful. Therefore, a lot of skin cancer there. So anyway, whatever it is, we go for happiness, and it doesn't always work out, does it? Maybe some other problems there. The rain pouring down with rain. You just spent your years earning to go to somewhere for a holiday, and the whole holiday is just dreadful weather. You do the same thing as you do in your hometown. You sit in the bar and drink and watch the TV. And that's your holiday. You could have done that at home. But that's life. It's this chapalashuk, flickering happiness in this world. And people are so stupid. They always think like donkeys. Huh? You put a carrot on a stick in front of a donkey, huh? And a string. And the donkey sees the carrot. Thinks, if I go forward 1 more meter, I'll get the carrot. But he doesn't realize he goes forward 1 meter, the carrot goes forward 1 meter. Okay, another one. And they never stop. They never stop trying, right? Even though everything they can see is a failure, they say themselves, the only thing is certain is death. Assert is death, you see. Nothing else is guaranteed. It's guaranteed you're going to die. Is there anything else? And you're going to suffer. Is there anything else that's guaranteed?
Taxes.
Huh?
Taxes.
Taxes? Taxes, yeah. Well, I guess that's why some people become bums on the street. No tax. And at least not that type of tax. Yes. Prabhupada writes in his poem, he says, they say, I'm fine. I'm fine. But they're actually paying their fine. Karmic fine. They say, yes, I'm fine. Everyone nobody realizes it. They don't realize, they think it's your fault. It's you, Hare Krishna, it's your problem. You're taking our money from us. It's mine. This is my property. This is my money. This is me. This is our unfortunate illusion. But we just finished the purport here. So as and until people realize that even the goddess of fortune, she's simply lying on the bosom of Lord Narayan. She offers benedictions even to Lord Brahma and other living entities in this material world. Yet she is transcendental to all material qualities. The Lord is the father of all living entities, so in this way you could say he's providing and looking after people, and living entities, not just those in human bodies, all living entities. But, it's like somebody in prison, you feed them, huh? You give them something. But it's not the real desire of the Lord that simply to pamper or to spoil us in this world by giving us a certain amount of sense gratification according to our deserve. Goddess of fortune is transcendental. As a pure devotee is transcendental to this material world. Although they come into it, people in general think they're just another ordinary person. In general, they don't understand what it is. Who is this person causing us problems here? They don't understand the transcendental nature or their business. She's moving. Where have I got to? I read that. Although she appeared to have been born of the ocean of milk, she immediately resorted to her eternal place on the bosom of Narayan. So many people, they think that we're born, because it's a modern philosophy, I guess it's still the modern philosophy, that we're created out of material elements. I guess so. Is that what they say? They're saying some form or another, right? We've come together, we exist because of some, whatever cause it may be, in our particular case, a combination of some form, gross or subtle, of material elements which has created varieties of bodies and so on and so forth, with various emotional, whatever, desires and so on. I guess they're still trying to find some evidence to prove this theory of creation or existence, most likely anyway. And, it's without God consciousness, without true religion, religion's not the right word, without true spiritual knowledge, what else do you have to resort to? And it's just sentiment otherwise. There's got to be some realization there somewhere. There's got to be some example. People are not getting that guidance. They're not having that opportunity. They're taking shelter, probably described sometimes, of Mahatmas, but what type of Mahatmas? Famous persons, film stars, big. What else do people worship in this day and age? Politicians sometimes. Football players.
Businessmen.
Pardon?
Businessmen.
What was that?
Businessmen.
Businessmen. Sometimes you have very big people in the world today in the name of business. Some people adore them. Still, some people take shelter of, or worship scientists and people with mundane knowledge. Some. What else? Opposite sex. Because that's general. more or less general. Or at least the body of somebody else or one's own body. Who else do they worship?
Fictional characters.
Pardon?
Fictional characters.
Fictional characters, yeah, that's an interesting one. They don't even exist. Right, that's really interesting. They don't exist. It's a creation of imagination in one sense. People still worship. They worship their imagination. Probably the biggest form of worship. We adore our imagination sometimes. Spend our whole day just, isn't it? Embracing our imagination, dreaming about this and that. So many things. They may worship a place, they may worship a dog, they may worship whatever. But unfortunately, all that doesn't do much good. They won't worship God. And if they do, it's a relative thing. It's a kind of a compromised situation. It's mostly seeing him as an order supplier, not as the lover or the object of my service. More or less, they see God as my servant. More or less. He has to supply me because whatever. Yes, I love him as long as he gives me what I want. Some people are more advanced, of course they are. But in general, these are just generalizations. But mostly there's not much spiritual education in society, so there's not much chance of a change in this mentality. The Sankirtan movement, but particularly Prabhupada emphasized his books, are the means by which change can be, if it's going to take place, can be evoked. It may not happen immediately, but it'll begin. It's challenging. Even to us sometimes the statements are challenging. We take it because we're still on the bodily platform of life. We still identify ourselves with whatever we think we are. And sometimes the statements are a little harsh, or they appear to us as strong. Sometimes you have to give strong instructions to a person when they're really, parents sometimes has to give strong instructions to the child when they're behaving in a way for their own detriment, something against their own good. And sometimes the parent has to use strong words sometimes. So sometimes that's required in order to shake and wake the conditioned soul. And sometimes we also need strong words to get us on track. We sometimes get lost in our own illusions. So this is the biggest illusion of all, this identifying oneself with the body and identifying oneself as the owner and proprietor of me and mine is the basic consciousness of all living entities in the universe, right up to the topmost planet. Therefore, Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punarvatinoja. Therefore, there's suffering from top to bottom. Just like in a country, if you disobey the actual law and you think that that which is not yours is mine, and you take possession of it, then you're going to get in trouble. Normally. If you're a human. If you're a human being. If you're not, you're an animal. Or animal mentality. So people should respect the codes of religion that everything belongs. Ishavashamidam sarvam yat kincha jagacchunsa. Tena chak tena bunchtam agudaksh kashasvidanam. That everything in this universe is the property of the Lord. It is not ours. A hard one, huh? That's Ishavasya mentality, understanding. And one should take only what is one's quota. One's quota, we all have quotas. Namacharya has almost reached his quota now. One day to go. He's averaging just about 5% over his quota day on a daily basis. So today, I know where you're going to, I won't guess where you're going, but if you do what you did yesterday, you'll have made your quota. And Rasananda is also on target for his quota. Of course, thanks to the Arabic population. Same with Harini. And many of us, like myself, are like, I've almost forgotten my quota. It's like a dream only. Unless someone comes along and buys 10 Bhagavatam sets off me today or something like that. Ekanath Prabhu, just relax. Look after your health, okay? Don't worry about these things. Try to get your health back together. And otherwise, don't worry about it. But as I said, we had every zone, every yatra has a requested quota to try to help reach our world target of Bhagavad Gita distribution. So we have, for the marathon, we have 7,000 Bhagavad Gitas as our quota. It's a 3 month. We didn't do many in October, November, so it's about 7. Altogether, our quota is 8,000 something. I think, I can't remember. Over 8,000. So we're doing good, but we may have to do a few more Gitas before the end of the month to reach our quota. So don't forget that. It's not just about going to Saint Denis or Garsa Cell and take the book. I'll get 9 points if you take these books. Don't matter, 1 cent's okay, just take the books. I don't know what you say, I'm not saying you say that, but that's not the point. Not the point. It's not the point. Not the point. It's not the point that matters. Huh? Although it's, make sure you do a lot of points today though. Balance. If you don't do your points, you'll be in trouble. You'll get some harsh words tonight, okay? I'll put my other hat on. Put my point hat on. The main thing is look after your spiritual life. Try to give Krishna consciousness somehow or another to others. Look after your health as best you can. We can only do what we can. We're limited here. Try your best. And try to help each other and take up this mission as Srila Prabhupada gave everything for us in his senior age, with no help, practically speaking, in this world. But he gave everything to try to offer this gift to the world. Real education, real knowledge, real happiness, real peace, which cannot be found anywhere else. There may be some indications there, but the process is not there. It's only through the Sankirtan, performance of Sankirtan Yoga, can this be awakened. Because only by the mercy of the Lord, and it's only through Sankirtan the Lord is pleased. Or different aspects of Sankirtan, of course. Which means following the pure devotee of the Lord, following their path. So we're finished there, and wish you all a very good day, whatever it may be, whatever service you may have. Try to put Prabhupada and Krishna in the center. And do your best to help others to also come to Krishna consciousness. Okay. Hare Krishna. So you got your books ready. I do one thing is that we're running out of Arabic books, for better or for worse. Especially the perfect questions, perfect answers. If you do those today, I don't know how many. You're doing about 150 sets a day between everybody at the moment, I think.